morning and welcome to this vlog. I am doing some reading and I'm getting ready to do a run. I'm fueling up. Chase left me this banana, which is really nice. So I'm going to be reading my book club books in this video. They're my book club books, but they're not like book clubs that I'm necessarily hosting. I'm reading Alien Tyrant for Ava and Tiff's Alien Romance, Alien Book Club, Beam Me Up Book Club. And I'm halfway through that. I'm really having fun with it. It's just like a silly fun time. And the alien creature is very alien. He looks kind of like a kangaroo from like the hips down. A man from like the hips to the shoulders. Maybe like to like below the nose actually, like a human. And he's got like a cat nose. Then he has like Doberman ears. It's a kangaroo tail too. And then he has the most beautiful eyes I've ever read about. Like his alien species has the most beautiful eyes ever. They're like all black. I think they're black. And then instead of irises and pupils and stuff, they have these like stars in their eyes. They look like stars, but they're expressive. So like if they're surprised, they like shoot out. They're like wide like this. And then when they're focusing on something, they kind of like swirl and then they pinch together and then they float and move. And it is just such a beautiful description. And they're like golden and like sparkling. And then another alien's eyes is like silver. And like it is just such a beautiful description for eyes that I've ever read. That book is about this woman, Cece, who got kidnapped by her government. She is like a PhD student or something in languages, and the government has stolen like other young women who are experts, but not really experts in other fields. So there's like a veterinarian, there is a botanist, there's like just like other kinds of random skills. And the government doesn't want to use like their top scientists because they don't want to risk them on this mission. So they just steal young women that kind of have the skills, and they're like, here, we're gonna throw you on this alien planet and see how you fare and see like if you can pick up any information about these aliens. And shit hits the fan as soon as they land, right? So our main character, Cece, gets separated from the rest of the women, and she gets taken by this alien guy who has seen her through like magical reasons, and he's discovered that like she's his fated mate. He's like, I'm not leaving your side, da-da-da-da, like that. And it's this whole fated mate situation, but also they can't speak to each other, and she has to like figure out the language, and yeah, it's a fun time so far. Less going on with the languages already. I think I'm like 40-something% of the way through, and like she really hasn't made any progress with the language stuff yet, but I imagine this is a long series. So we'll see. We're still figuring that bit out, because that was an aspect that I thought was interesting, but it hasn't been touched on that much. And then moving on to like the physical books that I own that I need to read, I am reading Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Gillian, I'm not sure, probably Gillian. I'm reading this for my IRL book club here in my apartment building. I've started it, I'm only a couple pages in. I have it on audio too from the library, but I don't really like the narrator. So I think I'm just gonna read it with my eyes. I feel like reading it with my eyes and like using my own inner voice sounds better than the narrator, because she was just giving these characters like weird voices and stuff, and she wasn't making like the main character that appealing to me. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna read this with my eyes. It's not that long. This book is about Camille, and she is a journalist, but she's like going through problems. Like she just got out of like a psych hospital and all this stuff, and she's going back to her hometown where these murders of young women have happened. She's reconnecting with her mother and her young half-sister, and we'll see what happens in this psychological puzzle. Excited to read kind of like a scary, suspenseful thriller type of book, because I haven't read one of these in a very long time, and I don't read them that often. And then the last book that I need to read in this vlog is River, Sing Me Home. This is for my family book club. This is a Caribbean slave, like slavery has technically ended, but like the slave owners aren't respecting it, and they're trying to force, you know, these people to stay like under their thumb. And this woman, she's trying to find her separated children, like they've been taken from her, like I guess a long time ago, and it's that journey. It looks like it takes place on a plantation in the Barbados. I don't know if you say in Barbados, in 1834, like probably around that time, because that's when the Emancipation Act happened, and that seems to be a key point to the story. Sorry about the sirens, always with the sirens. So yeah, excited to give that a try, and this cover is absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I am gonna go for my run. I'm definitely gonna put on a shirt and a jacket because it is mid-March and it's getting nicer out, but like, it's not that warm, relatively. but I'll warm up as I run. Anyway, so yeah, those are my reading plans. I'm gonna go on my run. I actually have my longest run yet today, which I'm a little nervous about. I have to run 8 miles, and we'll see how it goes. So, wish me luck.
I would use it in a video if I did like some kind of fake cooking video. But like overall, it's just not get this hyped. Anywho, we have the 2 main characters. I think it was poor placement to put a moon on her boob, but that's just me. What do I know? It's cute. I won't complain. I like it. A very cute pot that I will probably not utilize, and therefore I don't know where to.
I don't really have much to say for a reading update yet. I'm on page 40. I don't know how people read thriller books regularly because the shit is just creepy and icky and it makes me uncomfy, and I don't like feeling that way. Also, for some reason, the author has described the breasts of these young teenage girls twice within the first 33 pages. I really don't like that because it doesn't seem relevant to the story at all. It's just really fucking weird. Let me look up the quote because it's fucking weird. So the author's like, when we emerged from the church into the day's glare, I could make out 4 girls sitting in a row along a stumpy wall across the street. Long colt legs dangling down. Breasts rounded out by push-up bras. The same girls I'd run into at the edge of the forest. Like, why is that necessary to say? That's the second time she said it. And then the first time she said it, she's like, participate. Okay, so like there's been this murder of this like 10-year-old girl. Or there had been a murder of a 9-year-old girl the year before, and then this 10-year-old girl has gone missing, obviously, likely been murdered. You soon find out that she has been murdered. That's not really a spoiler. It's kind of setting up the story here. The first quote about the boobs was when the main character is going to like search for the missing girl with the townspeople. She's really there to like get quotes from the townspeople. She sees these 4 blonde girls sitting on a picnic blanket, like kind of where the search party is looking to I guess direct latecomers to where everybody is. The prettiest girl asks the reporter woman like what she's doing here, and then the author describes this girl, right? So it says, her flushed face had the roundness of a girl barely in her teens, and her hair was parted in ribbons, but her breasts, which she aimed proudly outward, were those of a grown woman. A lucky grown woman. She smiled as if she knew me, impossible since she'd only been a preschooler the last time I was here. But it's like, okay, why are you talking about her boobs? Like, this is from first person also, so it's like, is it the author or is it the character? Just fucking weird. I think it might be a character thing. I don't know. I don't know. I just want like fun romance normal books that I normally read. But again, it's book club, so I'm reading out of my normal comfort zone and stuff, and I'm uncomfortable. So yeah, luckily this book isn't too long. I'm on page 41, dealing with that, and then I just have Sam's video running from her January unboxing in the background to kind of lighten the mood as I read this. I can't say I've ever watched a YouTube video and read a book at the same time, but I'm kind of vibing it right now because like this book is kind of like dark and unpleasant, like on purpose, and watching Sam's video is enjoyable. So it's like kind of making this more neutralized. So yeah, I'm gonna keep reading before it gets too late into the night. What time is it? It's 11:16 p.m., which is pretty late to be fair, but I usually go to bed like super late. I was actually talking to my therapist about this, and I've been complaining about it for months, actually, that my sleep schedule is so bad, but now that I'm like working regular hours and it's really demanding, and I actually should probably get up earlier to prep for my work days and stuff now, I need to get my sleep schedule on track. So my new rule is I have to be in bed, physically in bed before midnight. I can read my Kindle till later, not too late, you know. If I'm physically in bed, it helps with like my sleepy time routine, which I'm calling it, because if I'm out in the living room, it's like, it's just not the same. Like, I feel like we're still up, we're still going, like, I could be tired, but like, I'm I'm just like down to stay awake, and time gets away from me where I'm like, okay, I still need to brush my teeth. I still need to like take my vitamins, you know, which I actually should do. I haven't done that yet. But if I do all that stuff and I'm physically in the bed, once I'm kind of tired, instead of trying to fight it or be like, oh, I still have things to do before I can like go to sleep, I'm already ready to sleep. I can just turn the Kindle off and then just turn over and close my eyes, you know? Whereas I can't really wind down if I'm sitting in the living room, because my entire life, for the most part, like 80% of my existence is in this living room. So yeah, that's all I have for now. Besides the fact that I've continued the Alien book, I'm going to read it more as part of my sleepy time routine again because it's on my Kindle. Yeah, it's okay. It's giving like 3-star vibes. This book, I'm not sure yet because it's so out of my norm. I have no idea how I feel about it yet. And I have no idea like what the reveals are going to be and like all that stuff. So I have no star rating vibes on this. But the Alien book is giving like 3-star vibes. I'll finish it though. I don't really think the star rating is going to change from that though, but we'll see how it goes. All right, I'm going to go and I'm going to keep reading. See ya in another clip. Hello, it has been a minute since I've talked to you. Let me get my bearings. So I have done some reading. I have to finish my book club book for my book club here at my building for tomorrow. It's Tuesday, it was supposed to be today, but I got moved to tomorrow because of conflicts and stuff, which works for me because I still have about 45 pages left to read. And this book is very interesting. It's not that long, and it's taking me so long to read it. Like the last time I talked to you was probably over a week ago, and I don't know why it's taking me so long. I've been carrying this book around with me everywhere, but this last third has definitely been more engaging, and I'm like, what's going on? Like the mystery element of it all, of who's doing this, who's hurting these young girls. So our main character, Camille, she's really messed up. Her little sister, I don't like her at all. But I also like see her as a human, even though she's really messed up and she's kind of a victim of their mother's treatment. And the mother is just also messed up. And everybody's on drugs. Like popping prescription pills and like all this stuff. It's just like really bizarre. There's a little bit of a romance between the main character and this cop guy, but like I'm not even excited about it because she's just so messed up. Like he's not gonna have a good reaction when he finds out like what she's done to herself. I don't know, like it would just be jarring for anyone, I think. Like I'm sure she like definitely deserves love and stuff, but that would be a shock to anybody. I won't spoil it for you. I don't know if I've told you already. Should I just tell you? I guess I'll just tell you. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in the vlog because it's been like so long since I talked to you. So just skip ahead if you don't want to know like what this main character has done to herself. But basically this book is called Sharp Objects and it has this razor blade on it because she cuts herself, right? But she doesn't just like cut, her wrists in slices, which you would, imagine someone who cuts to do. She's cutting like words into her skin. If she's feeling a type of way or she's like going through a notable moment in her life, she'll like cut related words. Like so many different kinds of words. So that's like her deal, that's her backstory, because it mentioned that she just got out of a psych hospital or whatever, and it was regarding like the cutting stuff. So it's very recent. She hasn't cut in maybe like a year or less. So it's still like really fresh. But she's going back to her hometown to try to report on these murders and stuff. And she's pretty much trying to solve it because the cops have nothing. She has her suspicions. And there's like honestly a small suspect pool because there's only so many characters talked about. And I'm feeling a little anxious about it. Is it like obvious but not obvious? Angry woman syndrome situation? I don't know. I'll give you my final thoughts when I have some. Sorry, I'm like struggling to speak. I'm a little congested. I keep like stumbling over my words, but we're gonna keep powering through. Otherwise we'll be here all day. In other news, I did finish that Alien book. It took me so long to read it for like no reason. I spent probably like 2 weeks not reading it. I got pretty far. Their relationship had progressed, they both understood that they were mated to each other and all this stuff. She seemed down with it, but there was this whole like mission where she was like, we need to save the other women from this other tribe leader man that stole them, this alien guy. And I just was like losing interest after that. I was like, I don't care. The sexy scenes were like fine, but I don't know. It just like wasn't written in a way that was super interesting for me. I just felt like the resolution of the conflicts were going to be very obvious, so I wasn't that interested to like go along the journey. So I ended up skimming the last hour or so of the book because I knew they were going on the mission. I knew they were going to save the women, blah, 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 blah. Some of the other women characters, I don't know them that well because I haven't seen them in the story because they were separated from our main character. So like when they're brought up again at the very end, like I don't associate their names with who they're supposed to be and like what she experienced with them in the like prologue kind of part of the story of like them getting on the spaceship and like ending up on this planet and all that stuff. Like I didn't know which woman was which. And to be fair, I did leave a big time gap in between, but still. So I didn't really care about like, oh, which woman is going to be mated to which alien guy next in the next book. Like I wasn't that compelled to like want to continue the series. I ended up giving it 3 stars only because I liked the creativity when it came to the actual alien guys. Like they were kind of weird and compared to kangaroos, but their eyes I really loved. Their world was really interesting, how like brutal it was with like the environment on the humans. Like it was really hard. It's like really hard for a human to live there, but like the romance could have been more interesting. I just don't think I connected with the characters as much as I wanted to, and I think that was because of the writing style personally for me. And, oh, big disappointment. So our main character, Celia, she's like a linguistics person. She's in grad school for languages, and she was like put on the mission because they were like, oh, we expect you to like try to figure out their language to communicate with the aliens and stuff. And I was like, oh, it's gonna be so cool to see her be able to speak to this alien guy as she like slowly figures out his language and stuff. And she started to do that. Like she knew a couple words here and there and they were trying to communicate. But then in came that like magical being thing that told Brody like that she was his mate. It just comes in and just grants her the ability to understand their language. So she didn't even like earn it. I don't know. It was like, what was the point of making her a linguistic person in a situation where their miscommunication or like their lack of like similar language was an interesting aspect, and then just to be like, okay, I'm bored of that. Let me just magically make it so she understands the language. I felt really disappointed by that, and I wanted to give it 2 stars for just that reason, but I decided not to be mean. Plus, I don't want to bring down my average. So I gave it 3 stars. Maybe I'll mark it at 2.5. Because that is so disappointing. Like, that was such like a main aspect, in my opinion, and then it was just like thrown away. I haven't started the other book yet, but I really need to because it is March 26th, and my meeting with my family for that book, this one is April 1st. Oh my God, I'm running out of time. Why do I always do this to myself? If I include today, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I include the day of, days to read it. But I'm not gonna read it today probably. Maybe I'll read some of it tomorrow, but probably not. So let's just say like 5 days to read this book. Oh my God, guys. We got this, we can do it. I don't know, I just don't know why this is taking me so long. You know what, probably because it's like not fun. Like I'm intrigued, but it's like nobody's really likable. Everybody's messed up. I'm just reading miserable like situations, and it's just like not enjoyable for me personally to be like, oh my God, these people are messed up. Let me just like keep reading these messed up things. Like sometimes I'll watch like true crime TikToks or whatever, or like a true crime Netflix documentary. It is dark. Like I watched that whole like Nickelodeon one, Quiet on Set. That blew my mind. Like I keep wanting to word vomit about that. I'm not gonna spoil that for you, but you should watch it if you haven't seen it. You will be so surprised to know. I was so shocked. I'm so glad that wasn't spoiled for me because I heard people talking about it a little bit on TikTok, but it only seemed like they watched the trailer and they didn't know like what the big reveal was on like episode 3 or 2, I guess, the end of 2. It just blew my mind, and I just keep wanting to talk about it to everybody, but I don't want to be like such a downer because it's so messed up, you know what I mean? But anyway, those things are like quicker to consume versus this is like hours and hours and hours and like takes more like mental power to read it. I mean, I do have the audiobook too, but the way it's written, it's kind of hard to listen to just because the way the character thinks, sometimes I'm not sure if she's thinking or if she said that out loud to somebody, you know? So it is nicer for me to read it with my eyes, at least read along. So that's the update. It's 5 o'clock now, and I gotta go for my run. I'm supposed to run 6 miles, and then I might be going to a work dinner. So I really gotta get going because they haven't like said the time or the place or anything yet. So I'm kind of on standby, but I really want to get my run in still because I'm training for half marathon and I gotta stay dedicated. So yeah, I wanted to talk about fun stuff. Hold on. Yeah, they want to go to dinner like 6:15, 6:30, so I will not be running now, which is a bummer. Fucking hell. All right, let's catch up a bit later on like fun stuff because I'm trying to figure out work stuff, work social stuff. And I'm a little stressed out because I want to be able to eat where we go, but also I don't want to be too much trouble. And also I don't like having to pick the place. Ugh, I'm kind of like agitated. And I can't do my run now unless I do it like super late at night. I should have done it this morning, but I was tired and I didn't get up. But it's like, if it's always the case where you're like, should I just do this thing that I need to do in the morning or wait till later? Just do it in the fucking morning because something always comes up to derail you from your plans. So, you should have done it in the morning. All right, I'll talk to you later about fun stuff. Hi, I am feeling much better than the other day. The dinner went fine. I told you about the last book club book. I had my meeting the other day. Really fun, and now I'm reading my family book club book, which I'm also really enjoying. The writing style is very like removed but still emotional, and it's very fast paced because there's a lot of breaks in the chapters, you know what I mean? So it's like they're quick. Enjoying it. But I picked you up because I'm doing something interesting and I wanted to share with you. So Chase is setting up, he's here on the computer, setting up this DJ software because he bought this. He's been wanting it for a really long time. We got it with the view and everything. It faces outward. And I'm just setting it up for him on the hardware side because I'm pretty techie. Well, not super techie, but a little bit more techie and handy than he is. So I'm helping him out and he's figuring out the software stuff. And I'm just figuring out how many plugs do we have in this apartment. Clearly not enough. I had to steal this power strip from the bedroom because we're not really using it right now because we had a fiasco with the lights. But we almost don't have enough. Like I feel like I should just get another one anyway, but I'll just use it in the living room for now. Cable management, cables are everywhere, but it is what it is. Alright, this is the temporary mess of the cabling and the speakers. We don't know where everything's gonna go, and the cables are only so long, but this is Chase's dream, so we're gonna make it work.
I just don't understand how I get music onto my Google Cloud.
I thought it connected. You just...
Michael was taken. The first loss of so many. There was an emptiness in her heart that night, and from which she feared she would never escape, waiting for the release of sleep or death covering her body. A drop of blood tracked down Mercy, Thomas Augustus, or Cherry Kane. Wondering, she would go to the harbor. The sea smelled stale. Chips gate they also took away. Some days, columns of people lined the harbor.
This is a very strange angle, but we're gonna rock it. Hi, we are sitting at an unusual angle, but I'm trying to keep it interesting, okay? You're sitting on my bookcase that I usually sit in front of the other way when I film my sit-down videos. Though I've been trying to mix it up in those videos as well. Let me turn my phone off. Sound. Eliza's starting her book binding, texting the group. She's like, I finally ripped the cover off of her copy of, I think it's ACOTAR she's doing, and she's binding it, you know, making it customized. So I have been reading this. I'm listening to the audiobook right now, but it's a little bit of a drama. If I was gonna be a meme right now, it would be like, and it was at this moment when she knew. She effed up because it's Sunday and it's 4:40 p.m. and I have to finish this book by tomorrow night. I think we're gonna talk at like 9 p.m. But it's Monday tomorrow, so I actually have to work. I'm at 21% of the way through this book. I have 8 hours and 22 minutes left. I've been listening to it at 1.5 just because when I'm not reading along, listening faster is harder, especially because this narrator has a Caribbean accent and some of the voices she does, it's really hard to understand what they're saying. So that's like a comfortable speed for me to listen to when I'm multitasking, but I think I'm gonna sit on the couch for a bit and read with my eyes and listen, because that'll be faster than just reading with my eyes. I told Chase I need to read this book today, so like we can hang out, but also like this is kind of my priority for the day. We made brunch at home and stuff. We spent quality time together. He's kind of like not really napping, but like he's just kind of chilling and resting because he's kind of tired. He went grocery shopping, whatever, doesn't matter. Who cares? I might be up late listening to this. I'm kind of bummed because I got my sleep schedule good for a while and I was like getting up early. I went on a couple morning runs, and it's just better for work to like be ready to go early in the morning versus just like rolling out of bed. But I really fucked up my sleep schedule this weekend, just staying out too late. Actually, last night I was reading really late. I was reading this other book that I'm not doing in this vlog, but I'm having so much fun with it, so I'll just mention it anyway. I started Mile High, and I'm like 20-something% of the way through that, and I started it yesterday morning. I just wanted something like fun and like fluffy and romantic to read also at the same time. Plus it's nice to have like a Kindle book for when I'm winding down in bed. I had started Indigo Ridge for that like kind of fun romance book on my Kindle, but it's Fade to Black, and I did not know that. So I came across 2 scenes and they like abruptly faded to black, and I was like, what? And I like went through reviews again and like read further into the reviews, and yeah, it was confirmed. So I'm DNF'd. I was like, I'm not wasting my time with this. Like, that is not what I'm in the mood for. For me, in Fade to Black, you're losing so much of the relationship building because it's such an intimate moment between the characters, and it just feels so jarring for them to like talk about those moments without having witnessed how they connected emotionally and stuff like that. So did not like that, DNF'd it, and moved on to Mile High, which I am loving. So honestly, if I was purely mood reading, I would definitely be continuing Mile High because it's like rejuvenated my love for reading. It's just so fun right now, but this has a deadline, so gotta get to this. Also, I wanted to talk to you about fun stuff, but I kind of got cut off the other day. But in this vlog, I didn't film it, but my friend Ruth, we went to college together. She lives in California. She was in town visiting with her husband and her baby, her 10-month-old. So we got dinner with like some of the other basketball girls in Hoboken, and then she came into the city. We went to this place called Beadcraft where you make your own charm necklaces, which I'll show you. And it was so fun to just hang out with her, and I'm really pleased with the necklace that I made. And then I brought them to this apartment, my apartment, and it was so cute to see a little baby like crawling around here in my home. So that was really special, and it was so nice to like catch up with her and, you know, get to know her husband more and more. Like, I know her husband like a bit from like when I saw them at their wedding and stuff, but it was much nicer to like have more one-on-one double date kind of time because Chase was here too. And it was just the 4 of us and the baby, and yeah, it was really fun. So that was amazing. And then on top of that, did I tell you, one of my friends from the basketball team wrote 2 books, and she told us about it at the dinner. I don't know how it came up. I think we were just like, how are you doing? And she's like, yeah, I'm finishing up my 2nd book. And we're like, what? So she's written these Christian fiction books. She says the first one isn't a romance, but the second one is like a Christian romance, which is interesting. And she said I might like the second one. So I'm not religious, so I'm not like the perfect demographic for this book, but my friend wrote it, so obviously I want to talk about it. And, you know, I have a super small channel, but promote her books on my channel. I'll probably talk about them in more of a formal video too, or just like randomly in a vlog. Her series is called Dear God series. Book 2 is called Dear God, Why Is It So Hard to Forgive? And her pen name is Amani. I'm not gonna tell you what her real name is because she's writing under a pen name, so I wanna respect her privacy in that. But yeah, I think that's so cool. Looks like the 2nd book comes out April 2nd, which it'll definitely be well past April 2nd by the time this vlog finally comes out. I think that is so amazing. Writing a book is so hard. For everybody that attempts to write a book, that does like writing prompts and stuff, and published indie or published like anything at all, like short stories, poems, whatever, like that is so amazing. I don't have that level of creativity. I don't feel that confident in my writing, but I like the idea of being able to do that. So I am just so proud of my friend for writing and creating 2 books. That is so cool. Oh wait, let me show you the necklace. before I forget. So here is the necklace. So it says Scorpio and Gemini. I am a Scorpio and Chase is a Gemini, so I thought that was really cute. And then obviously there's a heart and two little butterflies. I love the symmetry of it. This is a different necklace that I bought from one of those cute little pop-up artist booth type things in the city. And I just love it. And it kind of has a double meaning too by accident because my best friend Ina, who's still away, we're hoping she's gonna be back home soon. She is also a Gemini, so it's like me and my bestie also, which I love. And I told you Chase got the DJ set, right? So if he's still trying to figure that out, it's a lot of buttons, so I'm probably gonna learn how to use it also. That way we can kind of like, my love language is like acts of service and stuff, so I want to be able to help him, but it's on a software and like obviously a tool that I've never used before. So I want to learn and like research how to use it as well so that I can help him when he's a little stumped on figuring it out. But in addition to him buying a toy, I bought a toy that I don't think I've talked to you about in this vlog yet. So let me show you. I bought a PlayStation 5. I'm so excited. And I got the two latest Assassin's Creed games. So this is Mirage, which I think is the latest. And then Valhalla is the next one that I have yet to play. And I'm so excited. So yeah, I am a little bit of a gamer girl. I'm not like the biggest gamer or anything, but I do love my Assassin's Creed franchise. And I didn't continue it on my Xbox One because I wanted to get a more modern gaming setup. And I just finally pulled the trigger and got a PlayStation 5. I was really on the fence about getting a gaming computer or whatever, but that's just like so much more work and I'd have to like change my whole like desk setup to do that. And it was just too overwhelming, and I just like kind of the plug and play of a console. So I just, one night at like 11:30 at night, I was like, I just want to buy a PlayStation. So I went online and they were having a little bit of a sale. It was actually cheaper to buy it with the Spider-Man game included versus getting just the console on its own. It was like $50 cheaper. And then I got the two games from GameStop. Both were under like 25 bucks. So amazing, because usually those run like, they could be like $70 when they're brand new. So grateful and happy and excited to play it. I have been replaying Assassin's Creed Odyssey. For those who know anything about Assassin's Creed, I've been replaying that for like the 4th time. And it's been so fun. And then maybe I'll play the Spider-Man game on the PlayStation 5 for a bit just to like get used to playing PlayStation and the new buttons and like the haptic tap I think it has. Like it has a lot more features than an Xbox controller does. So excited about that. I've heard amazing things about the Spider-Man game as well. I posted it on my stories that I got it, and I got a couple DMs about it being like, oh, we should play online together. And yeah, I'm just really excited to play all the like PlayStation exclusive games. I feel like PlayStation also has way better titles. I'm sorry, I don't want to like shit on Xbox or anything. Like I've been an Xbox girly from the beginning. Actually, that's not true. We had like, I think we had a PlayStation 2, like the gray one. I don't know if that was a 2 or 3. I don't know. When I was a kid. And my dad switched us over to Xbox 360. And then we got an Xbox One. And I've been on Xbox One ever since. And now I'm going back to PlayStation because I just feel like their title selection is better. And I can't wait to play all the games. Yeah, I might look into getting live or online or whatever. And have some gamer friends. And I just have to figure that out. I don't know how any of that works, but still very excited about it. Yeah, I wonder how I connect it to like Discord and all this. I have no idea how people do all these things. That's why I kind of got overwhelmed with like trying to make a gaming computer too, because there's just so many technical things that are brand new to me, and I'm like a researcher. I want to like research and understand everything before I buy it, but sometimes you just gotta buy it and like figure it out as you go, and I think with the console it'll just be simpler, just like less components to figure out. So yeah, that's my little update and rant on personal stuff. I should get to reading, and pray for me because it's going to be a long day and night rushing to finish this book. I am enjoying it though. It's really good. The writing style I am enjoying. I find that I prefer third person. I mean, Mile High is in first person, which is fun, but like sometimes I'm just like, I wish it was in third person. But yeah, that's just a random thought. I will catch up with you later and update you as I make more progress. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Where's this fucking helmet, allegedly? Find and rescue my crew. Run through the snow. Sprint. Okay, exit. I don't know how to say that. Reka ya fakolka. I have no idea how to say that. Go to the green one. What the? It's freezing down here. Where am I? Oh my god, I'm freezing. I'm literally freezing. Get out of the water. Get out of the water. You're gonna die. We're not in Greece anymore. We are not in Greece anymore. Running through the snow sucks ass. I have to press down to fucking sprint. That's ass. You know, eagles out here. Where the fuck are we going? Oh, we're going over there. Okay. I've turned off the PlayStation. I have to wrap up this vlog. So I actually had my family book club meeting a few days ago. I mainly listened to this on audio. I think it was a really good experience. I ended up rating this 4.5 stars. I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. I got to see like different aspects of slavery outside of the United States point of view. I didn't really know anything at all about slavery in the Caribbean. Obviously, there are a lot of black people in the Caribbean, so I knew it happened. I just never really learned about it in school because in US schools, they like to focus on themselves and the European narrative of everything. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. Like I mentioned probably earlier in this video, my family is Caribbean, but they're not black Caribbeans. My dad's black, but my mom's side is more, well, at least the family members that are in the book club with me, they're Asian Caribbean, like Chinese Caribbean. Yeah, they had learned a bunch of this stuff in school. They knew some of the main like rebellions that were talked about in this book. The main critique I had about this is that it's a bit convenient. Like this mother, she's looking for all her lost children who are now adults, if they're still alive. And she was able to kind of like find where her children had been like fairly easily, considering, you know, there's no technology and everybody she kind of talks to is just basing it off of, oh, you look like this person that I know. Oh yeah, I've heard that name. Or like, no, I don't know that person, but like she just happens to see them across the road. You know what I mean? So it was very convenient at times, which kind of breaks the realism of the story. And then my family members also mentioned that like, yeah, a lot of key historic things that happened in the Caribbean happened to just one single family, and they felt like that wasn't super realistic. But overall, I thought that was effective as someone that doesn't know that much about the history during that time period, to get a little bit of everything but keep it in one story arc. Really enjoyed it. I found it really emotional at times. It didn't really make me cry, but that might have just been because I was listening to it. And when you're listening, it just keeps going, and you're like, all right, I don't really get to like sit in this feeling for too long. I would definitely recommend it. I'm glad to have read another Book of the Month book. I've been doing terrible at reading my Book of the Month books. I did recommend more Book of the Month books to my family, like while we were selecting this one, like other diverse books and stuff. And my one family member, Melanie, she's already read like more of the ones that I had offered. So she's read Black Cake, which I obviously own because I recommended it. And she said it was so good. She's like, it's way better than this one. So that made me even more excited. And that's also a Caribbean story. So yeah, intrigued by that. I should really get to that sooner than later. And then to just kind of wrap up everything that I talked about, even though this video is about my book club reads, I did mention that I was reading Mile High. I'm still liking it. I think I'm 70% of the way through, but that book is long, guys. Like, I was eating it up in the beginning. I just like couldn't put it down, even though I had to finish this one. And now I'm just like, where are we going? Why is this book so long? You know what I mean? Things that kind of developed in the story dissipated the tension a bit. So that's disappointing, and it's just not like compelling me to read it as much. I'm kind of like, just like, Jesus Christ, I got 4.5 hours left in this book and I'm 70% of the way through? That's a lot. As you saw, I've been playing the PlayStation. I'm loving it. I played the little Astro World whatever demo game, which shows you all the features of the fancy high-tech controller. The first like 5 to 10 minutes was so overstimulating for me. The controller makes its own noise. It has such like detailed vibrations with like haptic tap and like things like that, and like the trigger buttons become like more difficult to pull depending on what you're doing. There's a little touchpad on it. There's like a little mic that you can like blow into, and then it like made this thing spin, and then the controller is very sensitive, so if you hold it and you move it like this, the thing on the screen moves like that. Guys, there was a lot of features. It was very overwhelming at times, but it was so cool. There was even like, there was like this part where your little robot character is like in the rain, and he's got a cute little hat umbrella on, and you can feel the raindrops, like the raindrops in the haptic tap of the controller. The sound from like the TV, it's like the music or whatever and blah blah blah, but the controller is just making like the rain noises, so it gives you almost like a 3D sound experience, plus you're feeling it. It was insane. I think I told you there was a sale. You could get $50 off if you buy it with Spider-Man 2. So I've been trying it out, and I just don't like even looking it up to be like, should I get this one with the Spider-Man? I guess so. Like there was another game you could get. I think it was Call of Duty, but they were like, oh, the Call of Duty one is bad. So I was like, okay, let me see what the Spider-Man one is about if I'm gonna pick that one, I guess. And I was like, I'm just not interested in that. But I'm like, I own it now. I might as well try it because it was free. And like, I just don't care about this game. It's just such a boys game, and it's so flashy. Like we're doing flips and the webs going through the city. It's just kind of cheesy for me personally. I don't really like it. So I finally plugged in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I'm very excited about. Also, as a African descendant, seeing somebody like in the snow with like barely any coverings on, and like we're just running through the snow, I'm like, girl, it is freezing. It is freezing. How are you not dead? I would die immediately just trying to be out there in the snow all the time with like half sleeves and no coat, and then you jump in a pond and you're freezing. Like, what? I just cannot comprehend that. I'm just not built for the cold. But maybe that's how somebody else felt who is built for the cold when they played the Origins one, which takes place in Egypt, and it's this dark-skinned guy, obviously, because he's like African. It's the desert, and they're like, how are you surviving in the sun? You're just running through the fucking desert all the time. How are you not dead? You know what I mean? That's how I gotta feel, but with the snow. So yeah, just silly. Okay, I'm on a tangent. I read the book. It was great. I don't even remember the other books. The Alien book was like whatever, and then, oh, and then my book club book, we had the book club meeting. Sharp Objects was good. I think I talked to you about that. If I didn't, it was good. I started watching the show. The show's like not as good as the book, I think. They changed a lot of things because now it's a visual medium where some things that she did to herself are placed are different. Anyway, that's enough of that. All right,
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Have a good night. Bye. It's Being Daphne. Like and subscribe.
All right, guys.
Bye.
That's it. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I would obviously greatly appreciate it. And I will catch you in another video. Bye.